Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day, and today is Friday the 15th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got this morning a little later than normal for me, but got up decent time frame. Was able to get up and get around. Got a couple things. I got the dogs out, got that taken care of. Got a text from the lady dropping the dog off. Got dropped off way early than normal. Luckily the text came in before I jumped in the hot tub, but I was like, oh well, it'll work. So, because I would normally been in the hot tub now, but she dropped the dog off early. I thought it was gonna be later because she wasn't working today. They actually had repair guys doing construction work on their house, and they didn't want the dog around with the noise and whatnot, and also just underfoot. So I figured she'd be dropping the dog off later than normal, but she dropped the dog off early, so it's all good. Got the dog dropped off. That went perfectly fine. All of these dogs have been around each other now over and over. This fourth day this week. This dog's been here, so everybody knows each other. So everybody's fitting in just good. So wife got off to work without an issue. Got the dogs all fed, got them all taken care of, and then hanging them for a good chunk in the morning. Got a call from the mechanic that's working on my Suburban, and I use the word working on very loosely. The mechanic that's kidnapped my Suburban is more like it, and basically asked if I could go get some ball joints, which part of my thought is, motherfucker, you have a mechanic shop, like they should deliver the parts to you for free. Like, I'll pay for it, I don't give a shit about that part, I have no problem there. Like, I'll drop off a couple $100 to pay for all the parts, but why am I running this shit around? But so I called around, and it's also the fact that he's not real good with like computer shit. So trying to find, because there's not like you can just call him and be like, hey, I guarantee they're gonna have this part. It's kind of an oddball part. So went ahead, called around. One shop has uppers in stock, and nobody else has them. A couple of the shops said it's gonna be like 3 weeks to order them. One of them said it'd be like 10 days. One of them said that it'd get here on the 25th, which I'm like, no, they won't. You're not getting delivery on Christmas morning. That's not happening. He goes, oh yeah, it's true. It was Christmas, isn't it? And I'm like, you think your system would know that? Like, so now I think your computer system's just making up shit. Like, it doesn't even know it has inventory anywhere at all. So, and another one said they can have my lower ball joints here tomorrow. And I'm like, cool. Let me check around and see if I can find them locally. So that was actually the first place I called and found the uppers in stock. So went and picked up the uppers, and then got home, called, went ahead and ordered the lowers. So I'll have lowers here tomorrow morning. Stopped by the shop that does my hoses. Said, hey, we got any luck with getting the hoses figured out, getting them done? He goes, nope, we'll be here tomorrow. I said, what time do you open? I mean, they'll be ready tomorrow, he said. He goes, I'll be here till noon. And I go, well, didn't really answer my fucking question, but at this point I'm kind of wrapped up in him. I have to kind of just give in and be like, okay, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning. Kind of thing of like, do you open at 11, you'll be here till noon? Or do you open at 7 and be here till noon? But hell, I look at the door on the way out, no hours at all for Saturday, just completely blank. So Saturday apparently makes up whatever hours he wants to. So who knows, I don't have a clue. So went ahead there, went by the shop, dropped off the ball joints to the mechanic, and got back to the house, got the lowers ordered, so we're all good to go to that. And went ahead, also started looking around. I'm like, I got some other stuff I'm gonna probably need. That I ordered some couple of spools of wire, so they need extra better wire. And then I also ordered a bunch of fuses, because that old Suburban does not have a good distribution fuse block. All the fuses are used over there. There wasn't a lot when they made it back in '67. They didn't make a lot of fuses, so definitely, yeah. So got those in, pot them up on the counter. So they finally got shipped in. I ordered them off Amazon, and I got them popped there with my lug nuts also. So I got that pile, so I'll remember to take them with me tomorrow when I go pick up my other ball joints, and hopefully the air conditioning hoses, they'll be done, who knows. So got done with all that running, got back to the house, hung out there for a little bit, everything was good to go. Went ahead and chilled out with the puppies, just hanging out with them, and everybody was getting along great. They're having good fun. Sadie was here, first time she's ever been here, and she was getting a lot of good play in. Had a customer drop their dog off this morning, and I've watched him before numerous times, and I've watched him until like the 29th, I think it is. So got him dropped off, and then him and Sadie got a bunch of good play in. They played and ran and played and ran and had just all the fun they could have. So that made it a little easier for me, because we had some more energy burn off. Eddie by himself without other hyper dogs is a pain in the ass. He's very needy, I guess is the best way to put it. So, but they got wearing out each other, and that was all good. Went and got my run in, was on my run, stopped by. There was a guy that has a little car, does repairs cars himself and whatnot. So stopped by, talked to them for a moment, and then got a text there on the way back to pick the dog up. So it's all good. So I got my run in. My run streak's still alive, and I'm working on closing in on my marathon a week for the year. Getting real close on those numbers. It's almost over, so that's a good thing too. So got back to the house, gave back the old dog, got him all good to go. Then I basically jumped on the motorcycle to go run a few errands. Had to go take a couple things here and there and go pick up some stuff. So jumped on the bike, which was so nice. Middle of December, and I'm on a motorcycle. So yeah, that was fun. I actually tried to start the vet, and I realized I forgot to plug it in to the battery tender. And I'm assuming it's a bad battery because it always goes to 10.1 volts or 10.2 volts every time. So whatever is 10.1, 10.2. So it tells me I got a dead cell in my battery, but I just haven't replaced it because I don't drive it that much to really justify it. So if I start it at least once a week, it always starts. If I start it once every 2 weeks, 50-50, it'll start. And if I start it once every 3 weeks, 100% chance it will not start. And it's been probably 2 weeks since I've driven it. So, and I went to unplug the tender and realized I hadn't plugged it in. So I'm like, oh well. So I plug in the tender, and it's just it'll actually tender itself back up to enough charge to start the car. So I'm good there. But got it plugged in. That's why I took the motorcycle, and was one of those nice things where it was nice enough out that didn't mind. It was not a big deal. So went ahead, ran over, dropped off the parts I needed and whatnot. Got that wrapped up real quick, headed back, and it felt good to be on the bike. It was just that normally at home, my motorcycle put away for 2 months already at least, and wouldn't get it out for another 3 to 4 months before you'd see it again. So definitely it's nice to be able to have the ability to ride a motorcycle almost any week of the year down here. You can ride their bike, so kind of nice to have. So got back to the house. Wife got home from work and had basically clients was picking their dog up this evening, and reached out to them. Didn't hear nothing from them for a while, and then no big deal. Went ahead and had dinner because I was trying to figure out what time they're picking the dog up, whether or not they're gonna make it. And right about the time they're supposed to pick the dog up, they finally text back out and said they missed their flight. They're gonna be late, whatever. I'm like, okay, if you missed your flight, they're flying from like Europe, so it's hours, like hours and hours ago. You knew this, like what the hell? And then they said they landed in Fort Lauderdale already or something. I'm like, what? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, your words aren't making sense. So you missed a flight, didn't tell me until you landed, but you already landed now in Fort Lauderdale, and it makes no sense. And he's like, well, something about picking. I said, so you're picking up tomorrow? And he goes, no, I just want to pick up tonight. And I'm like, dude, it's 3.5 hours, best case scenario, from Fort Lauderdale to my house. And you still got to get through customs, rent a car, wait for your bags, and then get your ass here. There's no way you're getting here before midnight. Like 10 o'clock could be the absolute best case scenario, and 9 o'clock is my cutoff. So he seemed rather pissed off about that fact. He had to come back and pick the dog tomorrow. And I'm like, well, that's kind of on you. Like, I didn't have, this is not my problem. I have a rule. You knew my rule is 9 p.m. pickup as late as we pick up, and we can go from there. And he was kind of shitty about it. So, and wouldn't answer what time tomorrow works best for you. No response at all. So yeah, it is what it is. So I also don't know if I'll get paid for the extra day because he had paid when he dropped the dog off. So we'll see if he remembers to bring me more money or not. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he doesn't. It's not the end of the world. The dog's a pretty good dog. He's more a pain in the butt than the dog is, but it all works out just fine. So got done with that. It was probably 10:30, 11 o'clock. I was still up. I almost texted him to ask him how far he made it, just kind of being nosy. And I thought, no, because he's going to say, oh, I've just pulled into town, can I come get her? And I'm like, that guy would be like, no. Now I'm being a dickhead. Like, I'm already, turning the house down, everything settled in. I don't want to have to deal with this stuff and whatnot. I did that one time. I dropped off a dog, or had a dog get picked up, and it was super late. And it was one of those deals where they were basically like offering me, I think it was like $150 to pick the dog up that late because they were traveling through. It is what it is. So I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So I met him outside in the garage, which was funny because we still had the other house. We had the new house ran, we weren't living there yet. So I actually took the dog, went across the street and sat in my garage waiting for them to show up with the dog. And that way I said, pull in the house across the street from me. You'll see the light on the garage and whatever. That way nobody was pulling in my driveway at my house while my dog's up there. So worked out pretty well in that process. And I can do the same thing here theoretically. It's telling to park down the street just in front of the house facing out. I could meet him out there, but it wasn't worth it to me. So those I pick the dog up tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.